I've just come to a delightful realization. My body is a haunted house because inside there's a skeleton and a ghost and there's blood all over the walls. Well, I'm back, and I am still fighting off a cold, so I've got a lozenge in my mouth so I can hopefully speak through the duration of this video. So if I sound a little bit different, it's either the lozenge in my mouth or the tickle that I still have in my throat. But I am feeling somewhat better, so we're getting back on track here on this channel. And of course, getting back on track partially means it's time to open up the March 2023 HorrorPacks, and that's what we're about today. For those of you who don't know, HorrorPack is a horror movie subscription service. They have a DVD option and a Blu-ray option, and obviously I get both of them, and with each subscription, every month they send you 4 brand new mystery horror movies, and they're usually pretty good ones. And here on this channel, I open up the boxes live on video, or direct to video I should say, and I discover what's inside at the same time as I show y'all what's inside. And so that's what we're doing. I'll be discussing these, and I will be putting purchase links down in the What's It to as many of the films as I can find available for purchase anyway. So if you're interested in any of these, and you don't happen to be a HorrorPack subscriber, all is not lost. You can find links down in the What's It, and you can find these movies for yourself at the same time as you support my work here on this channel. It's a win-win for everybody. I should also point out that every 6 months, because I open these up blind and I frequently haven't seen all of the movies, I can't give proper reviews. But every 6 months, I'll do a mass review and I will give proper reviews to all of the movies now that I've seen them. And in fact, that time is upon us. In fact, last month represented 6 months, and I've now seen all of the films, and I've been working on my reviews, so I'm sort of collecting my thoughts, and as soon as I've finally beat this cold the rest of the way, either my next video or certainly one of the next videos will be that mass review. So make sure you're subscribed and have rung that wonderful notification bell so you don't miss out on that or any of my other wonderful videos. But without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into these March 2023 horror packs and see what we've got. Here comes pack number 1 in the wonderful little white packaging, which brings us, of course, as you might guess, to pack number 2 in similar white packaging. There we go. Let's dive right in and see what we find. Now, the way I like to do things here is to start with the DVD pack. That's what I have here. Let's jump right in and see what the DVD offerings are. First of which is a film called Deadly Delivery. This is one I'm not familiar with. The tagline says, "Get a slice tonight." I'm not sure. A slice of what? A slice of pizza, perhaps? A slice on somebody's face with a knife? I don't know. But I'm pretty happy to find out. Let's go ahead and read the description and see what we're in for. The back says, "Ding dong, you're dead. An urban legend of a mysterious pizza delivery killer." It is a slice of pizza and a killer. All the better. An urban legend of a mysterious pizza delivery killer, which may be all too real, is explained by an unscrupulous billionaire businessman. He organizes an absurd Willy Wonka-style contest and game at his luxurious villa for the 5 finalists. But is his true intention to draw out the legendary slasher? The extra toppings of gore come fast and hot in this scary and funny slasher homage to the best of 1980s horror. This sounds like a real treat. We got pizza, we got horror, we got 1980s horror. I love all of these things. It's a film I'm not familiar with, but it sounds right up my alley, and I can't wait to dive into this film called Deadly Delivery. And by the way, if you're interested in pizza horror, there's a book called Tales from the Crust, which is an anthology of pizza-themed horror. It sounds like this is sort of along similar lines. The book was great, and I suspect the film will be too, so I'm looking forward to Deadly Delivery. Next up, we have a film called House of Shadows. The tagline on this one says, "Stay in the light." This is another one with which I'm not familiar, although the cover art looks familiar. We've got the haunted house with the girl on the cover. It's a cover we've seen before because it's effective. So presumably it is a haunted house story, but let's go ahead and read the description anyway and see specifically what sort of evil house we're in for. The description says, Sarah and her boyfriend Jared travel to an isolated house in the Spanish countryside, led there by Sarah's discovery of a family secret following the death of her mother. Upon arrival, they meet the mysterious Ana Sofia, who explains her connection to the house and shows the couple around before taking her leave. I'm pretty sure that, you know, when the locals or the caretaker or whoever introduces you to the haunted house, when they decide to split, we know we're in for the kind of experience that I'm all for, but most people would probably want to run away from. Let's carry on and see what the rest of the description says. It says, before long, strange things begin to occur, as they do. And Sarah is thrown into emotional turmoil as elements of the past inexplicably resurface. As she begins to realize that her mother had more dark secrets than she could ever imagine, Sarah must face her fears and unravel the mystery of a dark force occupying the house before it destroys her soul. You know, it's a very classic sort of gothic kind of haunted house story, and I'm all for that. I'm really looking forward to it. I always seem to like that kind of story. But at the same time, I become increasingly frustrated that nobody has left to me a mysterious, haunted, evil house in their will, and I'm feeling kind of left out. So if any of y'all happen to inherit a haunted house and you want somebody to check it out for you, you know who to call. Anyway, that's a film called House of Shadows, another one that I haven't seen, but am very much looking forward to. And then we have the third DVD entry, which is a film called Death Ranch. Yet another one with which I'm not familiar, and I personally like that. One of the things I like about HorrorPack is, as much as I have seen so many horror movies, more than almost anyone I know, I do have a few friends who are sort of in the same group as me, but as much as I've seen all these horror movies, and I've seen a lot of them, I like that HorrorPack consistently delivers me something that I haven't seen yet, and this is another one of those. The description says, 1970s USA. 3 African-American siblings, Brandon, Angela, and Clarence, on the run from police, take refuge in an abandoned Tennessee ranch with plans to lay low for a couple of weeks. But as night falls, Brandon discovers their hideout is on the hunting grounds of a cannibalistic Ku Klux Klan cult, and it's not long before the siblings themselves are attacked and captured by the demented cult. Now, facing brutal torture from the cannibals, it's up to Brandon to take down the bloodthirsty Klan, armed with an axe and shotgun, and save his brother and sister so they can have their bloody vengeance and escape alive. So, it's another sort of, evil rednecks kind of a story. We've seen a million of those. To be honest, I feel like that subgenre, the evil rednecks or the evil hillbillies, has sort of run its course. And I'm usually more interested when films sort of subvert that, a lot like Tucker and Dale versus Evil did. But even though it's a well-explored subgenre, there are still wonderful films being made that explore some of those ideas and use some of those tropes. So hopefully this will be an interesting one. It sounds like they put up a good fight at least, and that's one of the things I always like to see in this kind of a movie. So it sounds promising, and I'm looking forward to trying Death Ranch as well. And that brings us, of course, to the final DVD offering, which is a film called Becky. This is one I have heard of, but have not yet seen. It's a fairly recent one, which came out, I want to say, a couple years ago. Let's see. The description says copyright 2020, so just a couple years ago. I've heard some things about it, and I feel like I've heard mostly good things about it. I don't really know many of the details because I haven't seen the film, and I haven't read much, except for little chatterings around the internet. Let's go ahead and read the description of this one and see what we're in for. It says, Spunky and rebellious, Becky is brought to a weekend getaway at her lake house by her father, Jeff, in an effort to try to reconnect. The trip immediately takes a turn for the worse when a group of convicts on the run, led by the merciless Dominic, suddenly invade the lake house. So we've got another one where, people go to a sort of remote area and there are some not so nice people around who intend ill things. Sounds like a pretty good one. Sounds similar to Death Ranch in the basic setup, but instead of the racial overtones, this seems more like we're going to get to see a young child play the hero, and presumably things won't end well for the murderers or burglars or whatever the villains are. Anyway, I don't know much about it. It sounds like a fun movie. It sounds like maybe it has some elements of Home Alone to it, but more of a horror film instead of the family-friendly version. Either way, I'm all for it, and I'm looking forward to trying this one as well. That's a film called Becky. And that brings us, of course, to the Blu-ray pack. I forgot to mention at the beginning, when you get the Blu-ray pack, in addition to the other movies, one of the 4 is a HorrorPack exclusive Blu-ray, so we'll be looking forward to that one amongst the others. Let's go ahead and just dive right in and see what we've got for this month. First up we have a double feature. It has The Watcher and The Skeleton Key. The Watcher stars James Spader, Marissa Tomei, and Keanu Reeves, and I have seen it, although I don't remember it well, so I can't give a proper review. The Skeleton Key stars Kate Hudson, and it looks familiar, but I don't recall whether I've seen it or not. Either way, it's a double feature, so added value, right? And let me go ahead and read the descriptions on both of these so we can see what we're in for. With regard to The Watcher, it says, after years of pursuing psychotic killers in Los Angeles, FBI agent Joel Campbell wants out. And now his nemesis, serial killer David Alan Griffin, has tracked him all the way to Chicago just to torment him. Before each murder, Griffin sends Campbell a photograph of his intended victim and dares him to find her before he strikes again. Now, with every tick of the clock and amidst pulse-pounding action, the stone-cold killer turns up the heat. Co-starring Oscar winner Marissa Tomei, this game of cat and mouse will have you gasping for breath from its first terrifying frame until its final explosive conclusion. Sounds pretty good, and I know I've seen it, and I just can't remember a lot of it. It's been many years, and I have a mind like a sieve, and this is one of those that just has escaped my memory. But hopefully it's a good one, so I'm looking forward to essentially watching it for the first time, even though I know I have technically seen it before. And then we have The Skeleton Key, which says Kate Hudson stars in a supernatural thriller that weaves a tale of terror and suspense. When Carolyn Ellis takes a job in Louisiana's bayous, she unlocks a deadly secret involving magic, conjure, and sacrifice that pulls her into a terrifying world of strange, frightening, and unexplained incidents. The key to escaping may lie in a decrepit attic, but if she dares to believe in what she discovers, everything she fears will become real. Filled with endless suspense and bone-chilling scares, hold on for this terrific ride with one of the best twists since The Sixth Sense, according to a critic that they quote on the back. Which also sounds like a wonderful film, and having read the description now, I'm pretty sure I've not seen it. I think I would have remembered that film. It sounds right up my alley. Yeah, there's really not a whole lot I can say, except I like when they send a double feature or an anthology or a collection, because it adds a lot of value. Here we're getting 2 movies sort of for the price of 1. I'm all for that, and both of them sound intriguing, so I'm looking forward both to The Watcher and to The Skeleton Key. Next up out of the Blu-ray pack, we have a film called Night of the Animated Dead. The little thing on the front says it's based on the original film Night of the Living Dead, so presumably this is a cartoon or animated adaptation of George Romero's Night of the Living Dead. That's what it sounds like anyway. It's not something that I know about. I did not know there was an animated Night of the Animated Dead. So let's read the description and see if it sounds like what the cover makes it sound like. The back says, "What begins as a simple visit to a gravesite soon escalates into a night of sheer terror. In this dark animated retelling of the 1968 cult classic Night of the Living Dead," so yes, it is in fact a animated retelling or adaptation of Night of the Living Dead. Carrying on, it says, "Bloodthirsty zombies suddenly begin amassing everywhere. As Barbara, Ben, and an odd group of strangers hide in a remote farmhouse, their struggle to ward off the flesh-eaters outside creates fierce tension inside. Containing terrifying new content not found in the original, Night of the Animated Dead will convince you to lock your doors." So the first thing I've got to say, Night of the Living Dead does not need a remake or an adaptation. It's essentially a perfect film as it is. However, that having been said, I'm pretty excited to dig into this. I like a good zombie story, and this is kind of the zombie story. It's not technically the first zombie story, but it's really kind of the first zombie story. It's the first modern zombie story, and I'm interested to see how it works in this new animated medium, and I'm curious about the new content not found in the original to which the description alludes. It makes me a little bit nervous, admittedly, because they are monkeying with a classic, but maybe they're adding something wonderful and new, and I'm looking forward to seeing what it is. So I'm pretty excited to dig into this. I don't watch a whole lot of animated, but this is one animated movie I think hopefully should be a really good one, so I'm looking forward to trying Night of the Animated Dead. Next, third out of the Blu-ray pack, we have Halloween. This is the first of the new Halloween trilogy from David Gordon Green. And of course, I've seen it. This is one that I already had a copy of. That is the risk, of course, with a subscription pack. Every once in a while, you get a duplicate, which is fine because the added value I get and the good deals I get on everything else that I haven't seen and don't already have more than make up for the occasional duplicate. Anyway, of course, this new film is the first of a new trilogy. We have Halloween, and then there was Halloween Kills, and then Halloween Ends. This one I thought was pretty good, standard sort of Halloween movie. Not too bad. Not as good as the original, because how could it be? But I was reasonably happy with this one. And then there was Halloween Kills, which seemed to divide audiences. A lot of people hated it. I'm not going to say it was the best movie ever, but I actually reasonably liked it. And then there was Halloween Ends, which I honestly thought was kind of a steaming pile. So there's my mini review of the new Halloween trilogy. This one, though, was pretty good, even though I already had a copy. I don't recall if it was a Blu-ray, so this may be an upgrade from a DVD edition, or this may just be a duplicate. Either way, it's a worthy entry in this month's horror pack. And now, as I recover from a coughing spell and take another lozenge to desperately try to get through the last couple minutes of this video, that brings us to the final Blu-ray offering, which must be the Horror Pack exclusive. And indeed it is. It says it's exclusive number 81, according to the spine, and it's a film called Angel. This is not the TV show Angel, but a movie, and it's not one that I'm familiar with, so let's just read the description and see what we're in for with this one. It says, after his daughter goes missing near an abandoned town, wealthy contractor Benjamin Weaver employs an investigative journalist and her team to probe into Raven Rock's shady history in hopes of finding answers. Soon they realize the horrifying truth that Raven Rock is not so abandoned, and a mysterious figure named Angel still haunts the town. So, sounds quite intriguing. I like stories of missing persons and turning them into horror stories and wondering what really happened to the people. Always interesting. I like abandoned towns because who doesn't love a good ghost town? And it sounds like this blends the two well. I am interested in this mysterious figure named Angel. That sounds like sort of shades of the Mothman prophecies and the Mothman legend. We have this mysterious figure that's maybe causing things or maybe an omen of things, and we don't know. Either way, should be an interesting film. Like I said, it's not one that I'm familiar with, but I'm almost always pleased with the HorrorPack exclusives. Hopefully this will be no exception. Hopefully it will be an excellent film, and I'm certainly looking forward to trying Angel. And so there we go. 8 wonderful new movies, or actually 9 because one is a double feature. Only a couple of which I had actually seen before, so that's always a nice treat. But now that this video is done, and somehow I've managed to make it through with only one really nasty coughing spell as I recover from this cold, I better go watch some movies and just rest and try to recover the rest of the way. So I'm gonna go do that. In the meantime, please do all those wonderful YouTube-y things that I annoyingly ask you to do every single time I make a video, which means like this video, comment, share it with a friend, subscribe, ring the notification bell, check out the What's It for purchase links, and information about all of my other wonderful projects. All of those things really do help me to grow this channel, which helps me keep making videos for y'all. With all of that said, I'm off to go watch some movies and rest, so until next time, take care and stay scared.